Hey, thanks everybody for joining us with another installment of Sip with Sam. We've had a lot in the news over the last week, certainly about Donald Trump's presentation of the joint session in Congress, about tariffs that are on today, off tomorrow. A lot of drama in the headlines. What isn't making the headlines is what's happening in Congress, which actually some very important votes have been taken. They're gonna have long-term impacts on health and safety and the cost of living in our communities. What we're seeing is a series of bills from the Republican majority, what we call CRAs, or disapproval. CRA stands for Congressional Review Act. And this is basically a law that enables Congress to nullify an administrative rulemaking or an executive order that may be very important in protecting health and safety, for example, and in some cases actually save Americans money. I'll give you a quick example. We just had a vote on a CRA, or disapproval, of environmental regulations around energy standards on appliances, which are saving Americans $576 a year on average. This is a time when Americans throughout the country are choking on high cost of living. We need standards like this to reduce utility costs, and unfortunately, we have a current majority in Congress that doesn't quite get that. They've pushed through this disapproval, or CRA as it's known, and those standards are now being nullified. Other restrictions, for example, or sensible regulations on toxic pollutants that come from tire manufacturing. Look, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with environmental regulations, saying, hey, maybe this is too hot or too cold. We need to adjust this somehow. The problem with CRAs and disapprovals is that this is a very blunt hammer, because it prevents any future administration from ever issuing a rule like this again, even if the science clearly establishes that this is a great threat to our health and safety, or that the economics show that this is really impacting how much people are paying out of pocket for things like utilities. That's what's wrong with CRAs and disapprovals, and really with the approach that we're seeing to governance over the last few months. Obviously, I'll push hard against these kinds of unwarranted changes. Thanks for joining us.